What's up, gorgeous people? This is Amber's DIY and other stuff. My name is Amber Meeks. Today is Make It Monday, and on this video, I'm going to show you how to make cake pops. I totally didn't have an intro for this video, and I didn't want to get all dressed up to film one, so without further ado, let's jump into this thing. So we're going to start with this Betty Crocker Super Moist Chocolate Fudge Cake Mix. I'm going to take the bag of cake mix and I'm just going to pour it into the mixing bowl. Now I'm following the instructions that were on the back of the box and adding the amount of water, and then I'm going to add the amount of vegetable oil that it said I would need on the back of the box. This is so super easy, guys. You seriously cannot mess this up. So I'm putting the oil in, and then I forgot the attachment for the mixer, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Then I'm just going to mix those three ingredients together. So as this is mixing, you're going to want to make sure that you have a rubber spatula, a spoon, or something that you can scrape the sides of the bowl with. You want to scrape the sides and the bottom of the bowl kind of midstream just to get the rest of that mixing powder into the bowl so that everything mixes up properly. And that's if you're using this kind of a mixer. You can also use a hand mixer, or if you don't have any of these electronic appliances, you can simply use a spoon and your arm. I mean, just whatever you got to do to get the cake mix mixed together. You don't have to do it like this. Now I'm showing you that I have eggs here. I have 3 eggs in the bowl. I'm going to add my eggs one at a time. That's really important, guys. I don't think people realize that. You want to add your eggs one at a time, let them mix in completely, and then move on to the next step. It's just, I don't know the chemistry of baking, but that's the way you're supposed to do it. So that's the way I've always done it. Now I'm going to take this butter-flavored non-stick cooking spray and I'm going to saturate this pan with it. Another suggestion I have is adding a little bit of flour into the pan to make sure that the cake does not stick to the pan. I normally do that, but I just didn't have time today. I was in such a hurry. So I normally do put the flour in, and I suggest that you do it that way. So now I'm just adding the cake mix into the pan here, and there was a little bit of it that didn't mix up very well because, again, I was in such a hurry when I was making these. So I just mixed it up with the spatula and put it into the pan. Everything's fine. Then I put it in the oven and let it bake for the amount of time that it needed to. I let it cool completely, and now I'm cutting the cake so that I can take chunks of it to add to the mixing bowl. So I'm just going to take this chunk here. I'm going to throw it in the mixing bowl. Now I suggest that you use like a spatula or something like that, but guys, I wash my hands like 1,000 times anytime I'm baking, so my hands are clean. I'm just going to take this chunk out and throw it into the bowl. So now I'm going to mix this together so that everything grinds together really good. If you don't have a mixing bowl, you can just take the cake and crumble it with your hands into a bowl so that it looks something like this. Awesome. We're almost ready to go, guys. Okay, so now I'm going to take some icing, and you don't want to add very much icing, guys. Start with just a spoonful. If you need another spoonful, fine, but just see if a spoonful is enough first because you do not need a lot of icing in these cake pops. What we're trying to do is make it look like a doughy-like consistency, so I'm stopping my mixer here. I'm going to check it. So I'm just going to take a small piece of it and see if it forms like easily, and it does. Good to go. So now I'm going to take that doughy mixture we just made, a cookie scoop, a cookie sheet, and I put some parchment paper inside the cookie sheet, but you can also use wax paper, whichever one you prefer. So now I'm just going to take my cookie scoop. I'm going to get a scoop of that doughy mixture. I'm going to roll it into a little ball and place it on the cookie sheet. It's that simple. I mean, that's not very hard at all, right, guys? The only reason why I use the cookie scoop is so that I can get them all somewhat the same size. One batch of cake mix should make approximately 24 cake pops, give or take, depends on how big your little balls are. So I'm going to line all of these up on the cookie sheet, and I'm going to let them rest for about 30 minutes or so, just out in the open at room temperature. And then I'm going to take this cookie sheet and I'm going to place it into the refrigerator for about another 30 minutes, allowing these cake balls to cool down for the next step. That's really important that you allow it to have all this rest time and all of the time in the refrigerator, and you're going to see why in just a second. Okay, so now I'm taking my candy melts while those are chilling in the refrigerator, and I'm just going to place them in my little melting chocolate pro cooker thingamabobber, but you can also melt these in the microwave. Okay, so now this is always going to be too thick. The chocolate is always going to be too thick, so you're going to want to thin it out with some vegetable oil, olive oil, whatever kind of cooking oil that you have on hand that is safe to put in there to thin this out. So now I'm going to take these paper straws that I got an amazing deal on at Walmart. I mean, 25 cents What? Nonetheless, you can use lollipop sticks, popsicle sticks, whatever you want to use. But you're going to want to dip that into the chocolate first, and then you're going to want to press that into your cake ball, and then put that into the refrigerator for 15 minutes. Let them chill. Once they're done chilling, I'm going to grab one of the cake pops. I'm going to flip it upside down here, and I'm just going to swirl it into that chocolate. It's important that you get it all completely covered. Now, this part is really annoying, guys, but I'm going to stand here and I'm going to tap all of that excess chocolate off of the cake pop. This is what makes these so incredibly time consuming, but this is a very important part because you really need to get all that excess chocolate off of the cake pop. Once you've tapped all that chocolate completely off of the cake pop, you're going to go ahead and place it onto the cake pan. Then you're going to take your cake pan, you're going to put it back into the refrigerator for another 15 to 30 minutes to allow that chocolate to harden around the cake balls that you just dipped. Now that all that's done, I'm going to take these treat bags that I got at Joann Fabrics along with this festive ribbon here to package up my cake pops. So I'm just going to rip one of those bags off, obviously, open it up, grab one of the cake pops, stick it inside, twist the bag so that everything kind of stays in place, take one of my ribbons, and this is really hard for me to film, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble filming this part, but nonetheless, I'm just going to take the ribbon, then I'm just going to wrap it around first, and then I'm just going to tie it into place with a very simple bow that everybody does all the time when they tie their shoes, and make it look pretty, guys. This is just trying to make everything look pretty and presentable. You can use little twist ties, whatever you want to do for this part, but you definitely want to put them in something so that they're nice and secure and sanitary, I guess you can say. So I'm going to cut off my excess ribbon here and make it look as pretty as I possibly can, and then these are ready to go to the party. Woohoo! And here they are. I just put them in one of those disposable cake pan thingamabobbers to take to the party. It's just an easy way for me to transport them, and I didn't want to have to worry about putting them on a cake stand or anything like that because then I'd have to remember to take that home. I didn't want to mess with that. But this is it, guys. I hope that you found this video helpful or useful in some way. If you have any questions, please leave those in the comments below. Thanks for watching.